There we go. Perfect. Alrighty. Good morning. Welcome to, I should probably know this. I think it's our fourth call, third or fourth million dollar knockers live call. Today we got a special guest. We got Manos on today from Agents Agency. You were just telling me how many agents are under, I guess, under your umbrella.
So
How many?
we've got 140 plus 150 plus agencies across
Yeah.
Australia. There's about 700 team members, and there's 300 plus what we call lead agents with their teams, doing listings and sales and door knocking, Leonidas. Although
Yeah.
less than 10% of them do door knocking.
Really.
How's everyone going? Welcome today. And I've also
So,
got my wingman with me today, Maria.
hey Maria. Yeah. So Manos has got some really good stuff to go
Hi
over,
everyone. Sorry.
and oh, it's all right. Someone else is coming in now. Yeah, cool. Some really good stuff to go over today. I just wanted to touch quickly before we do go into it, just currently where the market's at and what's going on. Obviously, there's a lot in the marketplace in terms of the first home buyer schemes. It's the main topic at the moment. It's it's a really good opportunity for every single one of us. It's definitely causing a lot of curiosity in the marketplace, and I'm already seeing it at the front door. I went door knocking yesterday, and the tone's changed. Like when I'm talking to homeowners, they have that thought in the back of their head, wow, where is the market? We know the incentives are going to be capped at, sorry, no income cap with up to $1.5 million in Sydney. And they're starting to really wonder where their place sits on the market. Some of the sales that are coming across the table at the moment, they're huge. Like I had one myself, which just blew my mind, like 70K more realistically than market value compared to comps. I just couldn't believe it. While I was telling the street, they were shocked as well. So make sure you're getting out there, being that person that is giving them this information, because right now the market is a hottest topic in the media, and you want to make sure people come to you for answers and that you're not left out of the conversation. So, with that being said, we'll jump straight into what we're going to cover today. And if anyone has any questions at any time, feel free, put it in the chat. And yeah, we want to make anyone that has anything, just put it up and I can unmute you. You can ask a question. I will have Q&As at the end, but if you want to kind of chime in during the presentation, feel free. That's kind of how we want to play it and go from there.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, Manos, what do
Oh,
you got for
awesome.
us?
Thank you so much, Leonidas, for obviously the opportunity to present to your community and really looking forward to it. And of course, a big shout out, and I think everyone on this call should be giving a virtual congratulations to Leonidas for putting this together and also for putting himself out there to being the door knocking king. And obviously sharing his insights because it's absolutely invaluable. So obviously we came across your profile a little while ago, Leonidas, and I just love it when people actually implement and actually do something that's probably the most uncomfortable. And the reality is, less than 5% of agents in our industry do door knocking as a lead source and a prospecting source. And yet we know it's probably in the top three of all prospecting activities. So big, big shout out, Leonidas. And of course,
Thank you.
really looking forward to having you present at our Black Salt conference, the industry community training organisation. So welcome everyone. Really excited to be sharing with you some fundamentals today about setting up your business for success, especially having a really strong finish for the end of the year, but also setting up for the next 12 months so you can take a little bit of the weight off your shoulders, say, what am I actually doing? And what I'll be sharing with you today is something that we've developed over 20 years. It just didn't happen overnight. It's been over 20 years studying the best of the best in the industry. Myself and Maria were in sales a little while ago. We are doing 120 sales per year as what we call an effective business unit, as most people know. So we've used all our experiences. We're able to get 50% market share in our businesses a couple of times within a 12-month period, starting from a cold start. So what we share today is practical things that you can do right now with the tools that are available to you from technology and social media that can really accelerate. And we talk about 2xing, 3xing, and 4xing your business, but we put the plan in place to be able to do that. And a selfish plug also to try and get used to the Black Salt conference. So I'm going to share my screen. Can I have sharing right,
Yep.
please, Leonidas?
Yeah. Ready. Should I'm
See
not
that?
getting it on my end. Sorry.
That's okay. So just down the bottom, where it says share.
Yeah. Uh, advanced.
And as Leonida said, guys, this to get the value out of it, please let's make it interactive. I don't like just presenting and presenting is great, and I love doing it, but I'd love to have your questions and any challenges. So when we cover off on a few points, just have a just don't be shy, put your hand up and just ask the question so that we can obviously answer it. So you don't die wondering. And more than likely, what you're thinking, someone else in the room is probably thinking the same thing.
Did that work
Okay,
there?
yes, we got it. Fantastic.
Perfect.
Share. Did I get the right share? So can
Yeah.
you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so you can see the full screen. Black Salts, agents in the field, training agents in the field. Okay, so a little bit about us. Obviously, myself and Maria, plus another business partner, started Agents Agency about 2, 3 years ago. We're a network of independent agents, and we support our agents in the back end administration and facilitating a whole bunch of stuff for them. We've developed Black Salt as a training organisation, and it's tailored for agents in the field, training agents in the field, and our whole mantra is agents in the field, training agents in the field, the people who are actually doing the work. And as importantly, uh, getting everyone to achieve a personal best. Because we see about the high flyers who are achieving $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, $10 million. But for us, it's all about each individual achieving a personal best year on year to be able to bulletproof, accelerate, and dominate their marketplace, bulletproof their processes, accelerate their results, and of course, to dominate their marketplace. So you become an attraction agent as opposed to always hustling, always hustling. And Leonidas, I would love to hear from you as well. Like you've been doing the door knocking for some time now, but you've been known in your neighborhood now. They know who you are. You're not going in totally cold. And that's a really amazing position that you can get yourself to because future business, the results we actually get today are in direct proportion to the work we did 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, and beyond the type of quality service that we provide to our clients. So if you did nothing 3 months ago, 6 months ago, your results today will probably reflect that. If you were
Yeah.
hustling 3, 6 months ago, your results today will reflect that. So it's so important. Okay, moving forward. Okay. Love, Leonidas will be speaking at our Black Soul conference here in Melbourne, Crown Promenade. It is on December the 2nd and the 3rd. So I'd love for everyone, if you see value out of today, love to see you guys obviously attend our conference. For more information, yep, go for it, Maria.
Hey, did you want to share all the slides or just the start from beginning? I can see a couple more extra things. That's all. Just sort of let you
Oh,
know.
okay. So I've got the wrong share.
Sorry.
That's a no. I'm glad you mentioned it, Maria.
And with the black salt, I'll put more information in the community as well. So
Yeah.
I'll actually directly email to, there's an
Perfect.
option where I can email it to everyone. So I'll get all the, I guess, registration and details to get tickets and stuff like that from you. And
Okay.
then I'll send that out to the whole community.
We'll get some discounted tickets for you, early bird.
Um,
Right. Okay. All right. So the whole point of today is most agents know what to do, but it's bridging the gap between knowing and actually doing. Because we all know that door knocking works, yet a lot of people don't do it. And I think that's more from a strategic point of view rather than an implementation point of view. And what I mean by that, most people think of door knocking just going out a spray door knocking, where it should be done on purpose. And I'll be showing you a slide of how to leverage and what we call the piggyback theory when you should be optimizing your prospecting activities, especially during your sales campaign. So again, bridging the gap between knowing and doing, you'll be going to lots of, I'm sure everyone's gone to lots of training sessions and they've attended webinars, they've learned lots of things, but it's the implementation of those things and actually getting to do the work that a lot of people are challenged with. And that's where these two books are absolutely invaluable. So Leonidas is going to be sharing these books as a PDF through the community. One of them is what I call your absolute Bible, the Hustle Playbook, which will we'll go through some of the slides and how it actually helps you not only keep in touch with your leads and on top of your leads, but actually to help you generate more leads and have a structured process in place. There's lots of talk about digital, and what I have found, some of our agents that have used this, $1 million agents and $500,000 agents, probably one of the biggest hesitations is actually to go analog, because lots of people have digital and they have everything in the CRM and et cetera, on Excel spreadsheets. But the big shift, every single person that's actually implemented this, every single person has seen an increase in their business. And the reason being is because it keeps your leads top of mind. So we actually don't have a lead generation challenge in real estate. We actually have a follow-up challenge, because everyone can generate lots and lots of leads. And we know the majority of those leads don't come to market straight away. But I can guarantee you, every single person that requests a report or asks for a listing presentation, an in-house just price check, they're in what we call real estate mode. And the majority of those people, 90% of those people, will be selling within a 6, 12, 18, 24-month period, the majority. So when you follow your leads, and I'm sure every agent's seen this, you appraise a property, a couple of months ago, and they've told you, nah, we won't be selling. They're going to take us out in a box from this property or a couple of years. And then, a couple of months later, you're driving past the street and you see a great big competitors for sale board on there. Who's experienced that? I bet
Oh,
you.
it's the worst.
It's the worst feeling, right?
Or when you go on realestate.com and you see it hit the
Yeah.
market.
And it's that punch in the gut. You go, they promised to call their names after me. Their kids, they're going to christen their kids after me, all that sort of stuff. And but they list with an opposition. So it's not. Don't take it personally. It's just part of the process. And can I just say, the most successful agents who achieve the most in this industry have had more no's and more driving by opposition boards when they thought they were going to get it than anyone else, because it's part and parcel of the process. To get a win, you probably have to go through a few no's. So that's the Hustle Playbook. And then the second book is the Sales Agent Framework. And this is almost a 200-page document. And I can assure you, I would take this the first thing this weekend, download it, have it on your phone as a PDF, and I'd read it from page to page, because this is the Bible of how to set up your whole business from a simple thing as your voicemail, from your client engagement strategy to your prospecting strategy to your campaign timeline to when should you be prospecting, when should you be calling a vendor to share their new property on socials to try and get more leverage from it. So it has all the little campaigns and all the trigger points throughout your real estate career. What you should do on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the dialogue that you should be using. So it's all here in a compact format for you to use. And what I'm super, super excited, the updated versions coming up to Black Salt 26, because we talk about the next year being your PB year, are going to be even more phenomenal. So the Hustle Playbook will end up being 4 books for each quarter. And it'll have all your prospecting in there as well. So we're super excited about that. So do yourself a favor, download it, have it on your phone, on your laptop, and just read it from front to cover. Okay, so absolutely invaluable. Okay, moving forward. The session highlights today, insights. What I want to cover off on are these 3 things. Where are you at the moment? So to actually achieve your personal best, to actually 2x, 3x, 4x your business, you need to have a start line. you need to know, are you in apprentice mode, tradesperson, or practice mode? And these are the three stages of an agent. We also need to find out the opportunity ratio. Everyone talks about appraisals to list. Everyone wants now vendors, but the opportunity ratio is where the magic happens. Of course, alpha and omega is working out your appraisal to list ratio. If you only get one thing out of today's session and you just find out what your appraisal to list ratio is, it will change your business. Of course, your business plan, formulating your business plan, we'll just touch on that. We won't have time to actually go through it, but at least you'll have the resources to build your own business plan and the momentum point. And then Leonidas will maybe reconvene and probably do a prospecting session as well, because the prospecting session, what we call the art and science of lead generation, is a phenomenal session as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Any
With
questions?
the appraisal to list, I'll go on. With the appraisal to list, is that, do you, even if it's just a price update, are you considering
Yep.
that an appraisal as
Yep.
well?
Yeah,
Cool.
and Leonidas, there's no right or wrong, and the benchmark is only against yourself compared to what you do. So, for example, in your case, your appraisal to list ratio might be 10 to 1. You might appraise 10 properties, but I want you, if anyone's asked for a report, this is what's important to me. If anyone's asked for a report, a desktop valuation, or an in-house 5-minute price update, I would consider those as an appraisal.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't consider if you're doing heaps and heaps of reports and stuff like that, and they're not real, you can drop that one and not include it in your measurements, right? There's no right or wrong, but as long as you understand what an appraisal is to you and how you define it and how you categorize it, that's where the numbers reveal what you need to do to achieve your goals, and you'll
Right.
get an understanding of it. So at the moment, Leonidas, how are you measuring your appraisals?
I don't, to be honest, I don't do the appraisal to list ratio, but I aim for a minimum of 25 a month.
25 months. And how many listings would you get?
I, I average 5 a month.
5 months. Your appraisal to list ratio is 1 in 5. So whatever you consider an appraisal, if you consider out of those 25 a 5-minute walkthrough a price update or a
Yeah.
full-on presentation, right? If you consider that as an appraisal and that accumulates to your 25,
Yep.
your appraisal to list ratio is 1 in 5. So your whole goal, if you wanted to 2x your business, right?
50 appraisals.
50 appraisals. Now, the other beauty about it though is the more momentum you get in the marketplace, the more
Yeah.
those appraisals become what we call now vendors.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone wants, right? And I can't recall the movie Glenn Ross, Glenn Diddle or whatever it is. Anyway, so with Alec Baldwin, and talks about leads and the quality of the leads. If my business partner here was here, it's a fantastic movie from a sales perspective, where one of the sales agents, they're selling cars, goes, "Oh, the leads are weak," and Alec Baldwin turned around and goes, "The leads aren't weak, you're weak because you're not
Yeah.
doing the right follow up."
Yeah.
Anyone that inquires, they don't inquire because they get entertained by us. They need information from us. Okay. So when you follow it up, and I'll give you some tips to actually look at your marketplace right now, that's probably going to blow your mind away in regards to what actually happens with leads.
Hmm.
So, okay, let's get straight into it. So any other questions? All good. All right. So in the workbook, I talk about there's 3 stages of growth for a sales agent: the apprentice stage, the tradesperson stage, and the real estate practice stage. And you're either in one of these camps. You're either an apprentice and you've just started, or you're just really trying to get to your first 12 to 18 sales, or you're in groundhog year and you're only sitting at 12 to 18 sales. How do you move over to what we call the tradesperson, the real estate practice, where a tradesperson's doing 19 to 36 sales per year? They've probably got one team member within their organisation. And how do they get to what we call the real estate practice? And that's where all the magic happens. And if I can encourage everyone, this is where the whole point is, to get to the tradesperson and real estate practice, which is the most important. So what we find is people in the apprentice stage are saying, is this the right career for me? And this is a real challenge. The big question that I ask a lot of agents that I'm coaching and who are part of our team, are you all in? Have you made the decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life? And when you can answer that question and you say, yes, I am, everything changes. Because when you think about being in it for the rest of your life, you start doing all the activities required so you can be in it for the rest of your life. And what does it need to look like at the end? So, because this business is such an up and down business, we could be at the heights of exhilaration in the morning, and by the end of the day, we're in the depths of depression. You know, we do a deal in the morning, a vendor says, yes, you've got the listing, and then by the end of the day, they've given it to a competitor. And that roller coaster affects everyone, a lot of people's mindset. So, is this the right career for me? A lot of people. The other challenge we have being in the apprentice mode, perpetual learning challenge. What I find if people are stuck in the apprentice mode, they have a challenge in learning and they feel like they know everything. And I can guarantee you the best of the best train every single week. They might not attend conferences. They may not attend, webinars and so forth, but I can guarantee you they're role playing with their colleagues. They're reading books. They'll digest a whole bunch of information to how to get better. If you're stuck in apprentice, maybe that might be your challenge. Okay. And the other thing is there's a mindset that everyone is just lucky and or work in a better area with less competition. Right? They use something like this. You put a smile on your face, Leonidas. I always get it. Everyone is just lucky and or working better. When I hear those excuses, I really get flabbergasted. And being in the industry now for 22 years, and I'm a numbers person and I love statistics, and I would say the law of probability and the law of averages has actually helped us achieve what we do. You know, I think back to our very first sale, and last year we did 4,400 sales as an organization, just under $4 billion in sales. And all of it has been done because I've understood the power of numbers and understood what it takes. Every marketplace is very, very similar. Very, very similar. Okay, tradesperson and real estate practice, personal aspirations and stamina, play the long game, right? So if you want to move to tradesperson real estate practice or you're in that, I guarantee you're playing the long game. Leonidas is in it for the long term. He is playing the long game. You can tell, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Committed to the process, consistency and patience. Like if anyone has delivered that message, it's Leonidas in his door knocking, right? So a big congratulations again. I love it. Sphere of influence and the ego, the drive to be number one. You need to have that. Okay. Tom Panos says it the best, where he says that records are broken in the pool because of competition. By competing with fellow colleagues, good, healthy competition, that's what breaks records. Okay. And that's why we see if someone else can do it, we're encouraged. It's like the 4-minute mile. When Roger Bannister broke that 4-minute mile back in the 50s, within a 12-month period, it took, hundreds of years for someone to break the 4-minute mile. And then within the next 12 months, half a dozen people broke it. So it can be done, right? We are seeing regularly first-time entrants into real estate, and they're writing $500,000 to $1 million in their very first year. Now, we see it all the time. So that tells me learn the rules of the game and play the game better than anyone else because we've all got access to the same ingredients. It's how we put those ingredients together that gives us our point of difference, but of course, doing the work. Moving forward, dollar productive hours. I think this is where a lot of agents get challenged as well. They get busy doing busy work and they're not focused on the absolute dollar productive hours. And dollar productive hours are clarified into these 5 areas: appraisals, call sessions, and door knocks. You're in there, Leonidas. Open for inspections, vendor meetings, and of course buyer appointments. So single buyer appointments classes now. I want everyone to do this exercise. Do yourself a favor, right? And it's never failed. I've done this exercise as a group. We won't have time to do it today, but in a group session, we'll likely do it at Black Salt because the day two session in Black Salt is implementation day. So on day one, where it's strategy and inspiration. So I have about 18 speakers speaking on the day, all agents doing amazing things and everyone to share a unique story. But the whole thing is we want to make sure that things get implemented. So on day two is a half day implementation day. So from 9 to 1:30, and we'll go through the workbook, build your business plan, but also have a big look at your dollar productive hours. Because
It's
as a
so easy to get
salesman,
caught up in that as well, like the dollar productive hours. Like you can have this massive day, and you'll get home, you're exhausted. You'll get home at like 8 o'clock, you feel good, and then you think back, you're like, did I generate a sale? Did I generate a new lead? Did I meet
yeah,
more people? It's like I've just been running around doing things that aren't that important. So,
yeah, doing busy stuff.
yeah.
And there was, I'm pretty sure, Maria, you shared something on Instagram the other day where the Diary of CEO was interviewing an entrepreneur that was working for Steve Jobs and talked about the busy time and the critical time. I don't know exactly how they phrased it, but Steve Jobs, 80% of his time was just doing the needle pointing end of things. There was no distractions from doing the most important things. And so if you made a decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life and you said, okay, I'm only going to do appraisals, call sessions, open for inspections, vendor meetings, and buyer appointments, who else is going to do my stuff? That's how you start building what I
Mm.
call a director's EBU or an effective business unit. And that's how you get to do 50, 100, 150, 200 sales. But more importantly, you're able, you can't shrink yourself to greatness. You just can't, right? And what I mean by that, nothing worthwhile is ever achieved solo. And it's easier to have a wide team, three, four, five team members than actually working solo trying to do everything. Because when you're away, there's no one there to take up the slack. When you get busy, there's no one there to take a lot of the load off you as well. And there's no consistency in your processes. So my prediction in the future is we'll be seeing less and less solo agents and or they'll be solo agents getting support from somewhere to be able to do this the whole sales campaign because we are far more than just selling agents now. We are project managers. And if we don't understand that, we are marketing property. So we need to be on point with the marketing. We need to be in the project management, styling properties, preparing properties. So there's a lot more work today as a real estate agent than it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we just took photos on a normal camera. We listed the property. Let us take a few photos now, and then went back to the office and we uploaded it to the portals, and that was it. Photocopied a brochure. That was it. Now you got to prepare the brochures, glossy brochures, get more information, get great copy happening.
Get
The stock
approval from the
market just
vendor. Are you happy
sorry.
with the edit? Get approval from the vendor. Are you
Yeah,
happy with the edits? No, I don't like the bathroom shot. Go back and take it again.
yeah. And Leonidas, it's a real challenge right now as a real estate agent trying to obviously do all these tasks. So you can't shrink yourself to greatness. So, of course, dollar productive hours, designing the ideal week. All right, the opportunity ratio. This is really important because I'm conscious of time as well. So you can't sell what you haven't listed and you can't list what you haven't appraised. I'm going to repeat it. You can't sell what you haven't listed and you can't list what you haven't appraised. And what do I mean by that? On average, how many properties sell in Australia every year? Does anyone know the answer to that?
Oh, uh-huh.
Okay. So we have 11.1 million residences, and the government's trying really hard to obviously increase that. Annually is about 435,000. So it's
Wow.
about 3.9 to say 4% of for every 100 homes is selling within a 12-month period. So 1 in 25, right? So post-COVID, it peaked at 598,000. So if anyone was around the 22-23 period, or 21-22 period, I should say, we were getting smashed. It was a 30% increase in sales volumes. It was incredible. It was one of the best times to be in real estate. And guess what's going to happen in the next 3 months? It's the perfect storm. Leonidas, you mentioned it at the beginning. We are at the perfect storm. Interest rates came down this month. We're expecting another interest rate before the end of the year. Likely not going to happen in September because inflation is probably a little bit on the nose at the moment. But we've obviously got the first home buyers grant, and I think the Reserve Bank will look at that. That will also change and obviously heat up the economy, so they might hold back on interest rates. That's my prediction. But we're at the perfect storm, right? The confidence has never been better in the marketplace, and we are going to see it may not be as high as post-COVID, right? Because there's a lot of cash in the community. Obviously, the handouts that the government gave and people spend their money. But I reckon we're going to hit over 500,000 sales over the next 12 months, which means it's probably a 10, 15, maybe 20% increase in sales transactions. That's really important to understand. But this is also important to understand, right? If 1 in 25 properties are selling every 12 months, I want you to think like this. Wherever you are right now physically, when you get in your car and you drive home today, how many homes are you going to pass? Think about that number. It will be hundreds. Every time you pass 25 of them, 20 to 25, one of them selling in the next 12 months. That's a really important stat to think about. And I encourage everyone to reverse engineer. Have a look at your properties in your marketplace and your core areas for the last 12 months. From there, how many did you get to appraise? So I'll repeat it. How many properties were listed, sold in your core area in the last 12 months? How many did you get to appraise? And where were they? Because if you had 100 properties were listed in your service area and you got called into 20 to appraise, you had an opportunity ratio of 20%. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the other 80? So the number doesn't reflect what you won, that you won every listing. It just measures those properties you were given the opportunity to win in the business, right? So I'm not saying out of the 20 you actually won either, right? The 80 just didn't call you in. This is a big one, Leonidas, right? So I want you to really think about your core area. If 50 properties came up in your core area, how many of those called you into appraise? Because if you didn't get called into them, there's no way you can't list it, right? So the big question you need to ask yourself, and this is a prospecting, an activity, why didn't the other 80 call you in? Why didn't they call you in? So here's the question you should ask. And for those on this call that run teams, this should be part of your sales meeting agenda, right? So if you do sales meetings every week, all you should do is go into realestate.com, have a look at the new listings that came up in your core area and ask the first question. Obviously, did you have that property owner's contact details? Number one, did you list it yourself, right? If you didn't list it, right? Why? And then ask if you had the contact details. Were those details available via property data sites? It's a really big one. A lot of people don't do this exercise. And when was the last time that property received the marketing touch point from you? So I want you to think logically. If you did this over a period of time, you'll quickly get some information about, well, actually my prospecting sucks because I'm dropping these homes every single week, or they get it once every couple of, they get a drop every 2 months. Why didn't they call me in, right? So you need to be asking that question. And again, you might find out that they're a rental property or the vendor's not living there, whatever it is, right? But it's really important. The more you do this activity, the better you will be at prospecting to get the call in the first place, because that's the whole idea. Now, the best that we ever achieved, right? So I'll just share a few of our team members. The best Maria and I ever achieved was 80% opportunity ratio. So we prospected a small area, and we got for every 10 properties that came onto the market, we appraised 80% of them. And that was really, really strong. And our success ratio to actually win the business was at 90%. So it became really easy, right? Because we had dominant market share. The other best that we've seen is one of our agents gets about 60% opportunity ratio. And it kind of sits about there. Do you know what I mean? And it all depends on some demographics as well. So the tighter your service area is, the more ability you have to get to that magic 100%. I haven't seen anyone achieve 100%, but it's really important to understand that opportunity ratio. Now, I get a lot of agents who get a little bit down on this, right? They get really, they sink down, they go, oh, my opportunity ratio is shit. I'm only getting into 10%. I'm only getting into 5%. And what I say to them is, what figures are you doing? I'm doing XYZ GCI, XYZ, I'm doing $500,000 in GCI. And I go to them, and you've only got a 5-10% opportunity ratio. I said, imagine you get it to 20%. The difference between 10 and 20 is not that much. If you're already at 80-90% doing $500,000 and you want to go to $1 million, you're not going to get there because you're already getting into all those opportunities. So the smaller your opportunity ratio, use it as it's an advantage for you to be able to grow your market share. Does that make sense? Because the market's available for you. So don't look at it as a negative. Look at the numbers to actually work. Well, this is what I need to do in my marketplace to get to 50, 30, 40, 50, 60% market share. So I hope I'm making sense. I haven't lost anyone.
No,
Okay.
100%.
So this book will allow you the opportunity to track your service area. Now, most agents will do this for a couple of months. They'll uncover what's missing in their business. They'll fix what's missing in their business. And of course, get them to more opportunities. So just do this exercise. So on a weekly basis in your sales meeting or your team huddle, how many properties were listed last week? Let's go through it, document them. Did we appraise them? If we did appraise them, why did we lose them? If their data was in the database, when was the last time we called them? So we didn't appraise it. We didn't have their data in the database. When was the last time that property had a touch point? And what that will uncover is the missing piece in your marketing, right? So for example, some of these properties may have just no junk mail and you're not dropping junk mail, which is fine not to do. But then I'll be saying to you, why aren't you doing direct mail? Why aren't you doing the anniversary strategy? And that's obviously a prospecting activity. All right, the alpha and omega appraisal to list ratio. It is the beginning and the end. The appraisal to list ratio represents the average number of face-to-face or virtual appraisals, listing presentations needed to secure a listing. Leonidas, you said 25 a month and you're getting 5 listings. So you're 1 in 5. You want to get to 10 listings, you're going to have to do 50 appraisals. But what you'll find when you increase your listing volume to over 5, that number dramatically decreases because you start attracting what we call now vendors. Because now vendors, when they go shopping for an agent, they go to where the agent lives, realestate.com. They start noticing for sale boards. They start noticing, obviously, paraphernalia in the letterbox. They're in what we call real estate mode. And when someone's in real estate mode, their reticular activating system is on high alert, right? So I want you to think like this. Every one of us does open for inspections on a Saturday, yeah? I would assume everyone does.
I hope so.
I hope so, yeah? So when you're driving around, Leonidas, from the corner of your eye, can't you see every one of your competitors driving past, or if they're an open for inspection or anything like that?
Yeah.
Because you're in real estate, you're a real estate agent. That's important to you. So
Yeah.
when a seller starts thinking about selling their home, that's when they start noticing who's actually active. And
100%.
that is pure. And I bet you, Leonidas, you'll probably see it in your door knocking.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you're mentioning this now. So there's this one suburb. I haven't sold that much there in my career, maybe one a year here and there, a suburb called Caddens. Ironically, with a bit of door knocking, some leads that I've just kind of come across and people I've known, I've had three sales in this suburb, and I currently have two listings active in there, all within about a month time frame. In that 1 month, I've had four people reach out to me. One converted to a listing now. I'm going to one tonight, calling me like I'm this active agent in this marketplace. Really, I've only been there for a month, so you can really paint that illusion really quickly of being that in the place, that agent in the marketplace for sure. So what you're saying, I'm relating to heavily right now with
Yeah.
this scenario.
Recency trumps history any day of the week.
Yep.
Any day of the week. Recency trumps history. So I want everyone to understand your very first list, every listing should be like your first listing. And you just pound the pavements and you saturate it from a marketing perspective. Well, I've got some really cool slides to show you in regards to leveraging that. Okay, so the big one. This is the number. Appraisal to list ratio as an industry average, it's 3.7 to 1 from $1 million agent status, right? So 500,000 plus 50 sales plus agents per year, because obviously some people will do 50 sales and average commission of 20 grand. There will be some people with 50 sales and it's 15,000 or 12,000 and they're hitting that 700, $600,000 mark. But the average $1 million GCI agent, it's 23 per month. It's 23 per month. That's what the magic number is. And I'll be really curious to see you in 12 months' time, Leonidas, achieving that $1 million mark of where your averages are going to sit, right?
Mm.
So, and you'll find that even the $2 million agents and the $3 million agents, it doesn't increase that much past the 23. It may go to 30, 35, but they become attraction agents and they're getting more of the now vendors. And that's what the whole goal is, right? But agents, when they first start, might have a 8 to 1 or a 10 to 1 because they're doing lots of cold prospecting and they're doing soft, what we call lower value appraisals. Don't discount that, and there's no right or wrong, right? And I'd rather be doing lots of appraisals that don't come to market than very few appraisals that only come to market, because it's actually harder to be building up your pipeline sellers. And now with the new privacy laws coming in and data laws and so forth, you need to be building relationships, right? And of course, building a wide team, you should be able to do it. So, and the success ratio is 7 out of 10. So the success ratio is if you've gone into a number of appraisals and you review those appraisals over the last 6 to 12 months and you've seen 10 of them have come onto the market, right? Because not every appraisal comes onto the market, but let's just pretend 10 have, you should be achieving a 7 out of 10 or more success rate. And that's what we're finding the great agents are doing, right? And what it is if you're doing less than 7 out of 10, if you're losing more to the competition, i.e. you're losing 4, 5, 6 to the competition, you have a listing presentation challenge and a follow-up challenge. So again, when you look at your numbers, and of course the hustle playbook just reveals those numbers to you in a snapshot, right? In an absolute snapshot, you'll say, okay, I'm actually losing more than what I should. And we did an exercise with a whole bunch of our teams, our $1 million agents, and how many appraisals that they're doing, right? And you can sort of see ratio 3.84, ratio here, he was 2.8 appraisals to 1. His success rate was 81%. Success rate over here was 80%. Jared Carmen, 4.8 to 1, so he had a 5 to 1, lost 19. 71%. Cameron, 7.3 to 1, not quite $1 million agent, but 71 success rate. So but he was new. This was a couple of years ago. Michael McClure, 3.7 to 1, success rate 62. So he just needed to improve his listing presentation. Dominic, 21 loss, 2.4 to 1. So he wasn't doing much prospecting, right? So this is a real telltale what sort of prospecting they're doing. They're waiting more for now vendors coming in, right? Which to me is a little bit dangerous. I think you need to be at the 4 to 1, right? I really do. I would really like to see, I'd rather see people do 10-minute soft appraisals, because what I find is the soft ones often turn out, can you come and list my home? if you've got great client strategy. And then obviously that's how the numbers work out. So it's really important to understand. And the other thing is people lose. People lose listings. That's just the way it is. So that helps you overcome those challenges, those emotional challenges that you may have in obviously the ups and downs of real estate, because everyone loses. And then, of course, you fill out your hustle playbook, right? And it should look something like that. And again, we'll go through in detail. It's just listing out your appraisals. I strongly recommend you download it, and if you can, reverse engineer it for the last 12 months, right? Like seriously, if you're able to do it, and then list all your lead sources. Like I'm flabbergasted most people don't list their lead sources, right? Like to me, I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. Because if you don't list your lead sources, you don't know what's working, where you should focus your money and your return on investment. Everyone's looking for that shiny new toy and they're sitting on it. So again, the business plan, your business plan is really, really simple. As I said, we won't have time to go through it, but reverse engineer what you did in the last 12 months, work out what your appraisal to list ratio is, work out what your GCI was, work out what your average sales commission is, and then look at it and say, okay, if I did 4 appraisals for 1 listing and I want to go to 2 listings, right, per month, go to 8 appraisals. Like yourself, Leonidas, if you wanted to go to 7.5 listings a month, you'd go from 25 appraisals to 37.5. And what you'll do then is look at your prospecting and say, okay, where are my leads coming from? What can I actually do from a prospecting point of view to go from 25 appraisals to 37.5 to get you to that 7.5 listings? And the only way you can do that is if you know where your lead sources are coming from, okay? So it just doesn't happen. It's actually, it's because of the activity that you do.
Yeah.
And of course, this is what it will look like when you do it. So we've got examples in the book. So look at the book, start reverse engineering it, work out what your average commission is. And then as importantly too, part of the activities in the sales agent framework is to actually look at your market and actually work out how much market is there available to you to actually sell. So if you're in a marketplace that only has 200 sales and you're selling 50 homes out of that 200, it might be an idea if you want to go to 100, you might need to go to another area, because there's always going to be the top 3 agents. And that's the rule of averages. It's actually harder to go get 100% market share than actually getting 25% market share in adjoining suburbs. Much easier, right? Because it's always going to be who's in the top 3 to be called into appraisal, especially with the digital footprint. So you just got to be just strategic in the way that you operate, okay? So when you do that, your whole business should be focused around this one number, and that is your appraisals, right? The magic number, right? So in this example, right, if someone wants to write $1 million, that's 83,300 GCI. In this example, it's 57 sales required, 4.75 per month, and you need 62 listings because your success ratio in this example is just over 90%. So 90% of what you list is actually selling, and you're doing 5.15 sales per month. And the magic number in this example is 21.7, which is 260 appraisals, right? So it's not 260 appraisals for the year, 21.7 for the month. And this is a real number that people can actually use. Okay, the momentum point, just quickly on this. One of the best lines I've seen at ARIC, Leonidas, is Gavin Rubinstein, move from prospecting to becoming prospected. It's Gavin Rubinstein. You need to shift the momentum point. Most people start here, and it's a prospecting grind. You're doing all this work prospecting, right? But the results are really low, right? The results are really low, as you can see, right? So as you move through the prospecting grind, your results increase, prospecting gets easier, and the results actually increase because you become an attraction agent. This period here, the first 1 to 2 years, is a test of stamina and resilience. You've probably gone through this, Leonidas, doing your door knocking and saying, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Am I going to make it?
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. And of course, year 3, year 4 is the reward for patience, persistence, and obviously creating raving fans. Okay.
Love it.
Yeah. And what everyone's objective should be is, are you making it easy for sellers to find you? And this is a really important one, and we call it omnipresence. So do yourself an exercise. Where can they find me right now? Most agents don't do this exercise. When I sit down with an agent, I say, okay, your realestate.com profile, is that up? Yep. If they Google search it, I don't have a Google business page. So, okay, well, that might be a good idea. We start one of those. Social media, I don't have a social media page. Do you do billboards? No. Bus advertising? No. Office premises? No. Okay. And there's no, 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 no. I said, well, how are they going to find you? Make it easy for your sellers to find you. So you cover all off on these, obviously, channels that you can market yourself. And of course, this is the other big one, the oxymoron of sold signs, right? It's a 60-40 rule. And this is a hard one for agents to understand. We've all listed a property in a street and we've gotten a great price for it. We've exceeded the vendor's expectations. We've been on the market 2, 3, 4 weeks. So it's been a great sale in the right time frame, exceeded, great activity, great, big, beautiful marketing. And then a few weeks later, the property obviously got a great big sold sticker on it, or a month later, or 6 weeks later, whatever it is, you drive back to the property and you see a great big for sale board, but it's an opposition board down the street. Who's experienced that? And sometimes directly opposite. And you don't even get called in, right?
That's
And
me, actually. Noticed it a few times.
you have, okay.
Yes.
Chirag, it's a gut-wrenching feeling, isn't it?
Yes.
so
Then-
so I want you to, yeah, it's a gut-wrenching feeling. And it used to happen I've not come across any agent that it hasn't happened to. And you go, what is it about that great big for sale board, photo board, that needed its own postcode that they didn't see with a great big sold sticker? At least have the opportunity to call in. And that's why we call it the oxymoron of sold sign and the 60-40 rule. We know that, and this was a study done by CoreLogic in 2015, and they found that 60% of vendors are influenced by a for sale board, and you're going to get called in to get called in to appraise, but 40% are not. And they may have another relationship with another agent, or for whatever reason, they don't want to use the agent that someone else in the street used. And it could be just a psychological thing. So great agents know this. So prospecting around someone else's for sale board, you know you've got a really good chance, 30-40%, to be that agent that vendor will call, because they're not going to call the agent who just made a successful sale. It's a really good one to understand, right? So prospecting around for sale boards, and it'll take too long to go through this, but study this. It's in your workbook. I want you to study this to the nth degree, because this is how you leverage one for sale property in so many marketing channels, from analog, obviously your pointer boards, your flags, then obviously digital from your phone, SMSs, social media, emails, and obviously the websites and so forth. And you blend it all together, and that's how you become an omnipresent agent. And you might have one listing, but everyone says, I see you everywhere. And that's how it happens. But most people, most agents go, I'll do a little bit of social. I'll do social. My street will see my board. That's enough. I don't need to do the just listed. I don't need to door knock the special invitation, which is the most important drop of everything. And of course, it's sold and the buyer's missed out. And if I was door knocking right now, that's the only 2 times I'd be door knocking, because I know that's the highest return on investment. And I'm really looking forward to obviously your presentation, Leonidas, that you'll share when the time that's the best, most productive, and most effective.
No, I'm looking
all
forward.
these things. Okay. And of course, just the last couple of slides, the piggyback theory, leverage and amplification. Make sure that one thing follows the other, from letterbox drops to your Magic 25 to your digital footprint to your door knocking. and of course are sold, because if you only just did letterbox drops once and you don't follow through with the rest, it has zero impact. But when you follow it through with some other prospecting, it amplifies the value of the first drop, right? And I say to agents, if you're not prepared to do this, don't do any of it, because it's a waste of time. Save yourself the money. Drops diary, really invaluable tool. It's just collecting your own personal drops in one diary, and then collecting your competitors' drops that come into your letterbox drop. And this is, people look at this and go, how I don't know, it's not digital, it's not sexy, it's not this, right? And to this day, and I mean to this day, I think only one person has ever said to me that the person who has had market share in a particular area actually dropped less than the second or third person. So what we've found is the person that's actively working the streets has always got market share. And this is a great measure of doing it. And the other thing it does, it also keeps you accountable to making sure that you're consistently prospecting. And part of your workbook has obviously your prospecting schedule on a month-to-month basis. And next year with the Hustle Playbook, we'll be splitting it up into 4 sections. So all your prospecting and all your activity will be done on a quarterly basis to capture all those key milestone moments and signpost moments in your prospecting. Okay. Second last slide, plug for Black Salt 26. I hope people got value out of today and love to see you at Black Salt 26. Just visit our website, Black Salt with a C, not a K, .au, and all the details
Got
are
my
there.
hat here.
Yeah, oh, yeah, fantastic. I love it. I love it. So yeah, super excited to have you share the stage with another 18 sales agents, and we've got some phenomenal speakers on the day doing some amazing stuff there. We've got Tom Panos taking the emerging panel, some real young guns who are doing amazing things, and the pinnacle panel, those people that are established, and what are they doing to stay on top of in their marketplace. So super excited. I'll leave you with this, right? Your greatest competitive advantage is that your competition is lazy, so long as the competition can't say the same thing about you. That's your greatest competitive advantage. Take a photo of that. If you need any help with anything, reach out. And of course, love to see you all at the Black Salt conference. So
Thank you so much, Manos. I'll make sure to put everything in the community in regards to Black Salt. I'll put the playbooks in the classroom tab as well for everyone. So use those if you're watching now, or if you're watching later, they'll be available there for anyone.
We can still see your screen, Manos.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Stop sharing. Yeah, that's a good idea.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm usually
yes.
pretty good at that, Marielle, and I changed my setup a little bit, and yeah.
That's all right.
Thanks,
I got you, honey. All good.
Thanks, baby.
That was awesome. Gold content. Some really good stuff in there, people. So make sure you're using that. I'm going to be using it myself. Definitely some things that I can improve on my side of things as well that I think I could use out of that for sure. I don't know how much time you've got, Manos, but if anyone does have any questions, I'm happy to stay back.
I'm
Any
happy to stay back
Q&As.
as well, Leonida. So if anyone has got questions, don't be shy. I'm sure there's the same question you want to ask. Someone else wants to ask the same question too. So yeah, go for it.
So if you just want to either put it in the chat, or I can unmute you, or I think you can unmute yourself, to be honest. But if you don't know how, just put it in the chat, and then we'll leave it for there. But if no one does ask, it was yeah, thanks for that, Manos. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, this is I think a third or fourth. So it's really cool, this community, people are really starting to communicate with each other. I kind of built it, like I don't want to be the one that's kind of always active in it. I want to kind of build it up so everyone can kind of learn off each other, and people are getting jobs in the community now, which is really cool. A couple from our office. I've heard some other people that have had some interviews with other people as well. So it's really cool to see that grow, and it'd be interesting to see how far it can go. But yeah, if you ever get any of your top guns in your under your umbrella there that have some good experience in early days prospecting, door knocking, be maybe even great to get them on and
Yeah,
pick their.
definitely. We'll share because you're using the school platform, I believe, to have everyone in here, which is
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, it's really
Yeah,
easy to use,
yeah,
user friendly, and
yeah.
I really like the emailing system in it because it doesn't mark your email as junk, so everyone actually gets an email.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like we have any
Kenny, have you
questions.
got you just I saw
Oh,
your screen come on. Have you got a question at all, Kenny, or you're just on mute?
sorry.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
for it.
can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes. Hey,
go
Kenny.
for it.
How
Yeah,
are you?
yeah, good, mate. Good. Look, sorry, I joined in a bit late. I had an appraisal, but I got the tail end of what you were talking about, Manos. I've seen it before on Tommy Panos's gym as well. But man, just a quick question while I've got you. I have so much time for you, Manos.
Thank you.
Mate, my area, my farm area is like super saturated at the moment with agents, and I'm finding often I could be down a street and there's someone walking in front of me door knocking, right? It's so chock a block. What are your suggestions to try and overcome that?
Yeah. So the big one, the first thing is, Kenny, every time I've done research on particular areas, this is a statistic. I look at how many how many agencies are actually operating from a suburb, right? So, and then I count every single agent that's within those active agents listing and selling, right?
Yep.
That are actually listing and selling. And this is a statistic I have found that for every 1,700 homes, there is a physical office in a suburb. It should blow people away with that. 1,700. For every 1,000 homes, there is 1 in 3 agents. There's 3 agents for every 1,000 homes.
Yeah.
It is incredible when you do the numbers. And I've done it around the country. It has shifted a couple of times. Sometimes it's 2,000, but that's because 2,000 homes because the turnover is less. The biggest thing to do, Kenny, is look at the number of homes being sold, right?
Yeah.
So as an example, right? My prediction then in your area would be there's a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
Because if there wasn't, there couldn't be enough agents to actually survive. And market forces, water always finds its level, right?
Yeah.
Always finds its level. So the first thing I would do is do that research, and it does one of two things. It actually comforts you in a knowledge of saying, okay, this is the same average as someone else's area, and this is the same average where there's only a 3% turnover. Find out what the turnover is. The only other way to combat that when you've got so many agents, right? Do the drops diary, right? If you don't live in your area, get someone to collect all the drops in your area, right?
Yeah.
And every month review who's doing what, right?
Yeah.
And then there's 2 things. Either you increase your consistency, or you change your message, or you obviously work around the boards. So for me, it's always about the boards, working around other people's boards.
Yeah.
So again, find out all the stats that you can about your area, which agents are dropping what, who's doing what, learn the rules of the game, learn what everyone's doing, and then be a little bit different. Because that's the only other way. Do you know what I mean? Or you just do more. Or you just do more. Because there's no magic bullet, Kenny. There really isn't. Because if there was, trust me, I'd be using it. I'd be using it. And I have yet to see. What I do find is those agents that have got recency in an area, a recent sale, they really can capitalize and they get the next sale and they get the next sale. But then it's like the bell curve. They go to the top and then, I don't know, it's a natural thing. They start to drop off. I was talking to one of my directors who has 35% market share in a town. There's 6,000 homes and all that. And it's the first, he's always been in the top 3 and he's been the number 1 for the last 8 to 12 months. He goes, and he's looking at the graph on realestate.com. He goes, Manos, I'm dropping a little bit. I said, it's just natural because that's how the market works. Sometimes it's a new kid comes on the block or just there's a change. You just got to learn the rules of the game. So I wouldn't worry as long as you're achieving your targets.
Yeah.
And that's what the other thing is to look at, okay, if I'm not getting the results here, I'm doing this, you need to pick another area.
Yeah.
Right? And do both. Yeah. And
Yeah.
expand.
So targeting other people's boards, I do that a lot because I think, Matt Steinway even says this, that, people get a bit slack and sometimes you can go into an area with a dominant player and take over from them if you work harder. So, I'm hoping that there's agents who are not following through on, leveraging off their boards, and I can come and pick up a few, but it's early days for me. I'm trying to sort of hustle to get some momentum, but yeah, look, thank you, Manos. Thank you so much.
Absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome.
There'd be heaps of agents not doing the work, 100%. So it's not
100%.
even something you have to hope about. Like,
Yeah.
especially if you're door knocking, a lot of them don't. Not many people, you can definitely pick up some extra listings. So now, great to see you putting in the hustle, and keep us posted in the community how you're going, Kenny. We'd love
Thanks,
to hear
Mike.
more updates on your progress, and of course, if you have any questions, throw them in the community. Alrighty, well, I think that's it, unless anyone wants to shoot last kind of chance here, and then thank you again, Manos. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely welcome, Leonidas, and obviously we'll be in touch before Black Salt and catch up, and
We'll speak
looking
soon.
forward to your presentation, and thank you for the opportunity. Always
Thank you. And you're happy for us to post this full length video? Cool, and I'll do some clip.
Go for it.
If I can find any clippets, I'll throw them on social media as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Right,
Thank
done.
you.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having us,
everyone.
Leonidas.
Thanks for see ya.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you very
Everyone have a
much.
good day. See you,
Thanks,
Kenny.
Kenny.
Absolutely
See ya.
welcome.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.